I can honestly say when I walked into this temple, I felt at home.
For every important milestone of our relationship and our lives thus far, Emmanuel has been a part of it.
The membership of Emmanuel is my family. It's my extended family.
The word spirit is very important when I tell you about Emmanuel.
The history of Emmanuel has had these prominent figures spiritually leading the synagogue from its inception.
Emmanuel has been very important for our family because it's given us a sense of community.
This is a place that tells everyone who comes through the doors, you are welcome here, bring the best of who you are, and use that diversity to enrich and enliven the things that we do here as Jews.
One of the impressive things about the founding of the congregation is because it was founded by lay people, and the man they wanted to be their rabbi, Rabbi Kahn, was in the South Pacific as a chaplain. So all the documents creating the foundation of the congregation were written by those lay people. There are two things that seem to be driving them if you read the founding documents. One is freedom of the pulpit, but the other is freedom of the pew.
The freedom of the pulpit and the freedom of the pew, very, very different from so many other congregations. And that set the tone for what's been a very lively congregation. Everybody has something to say, and everybody feels free to say it. Dad really felt that it was the ability to communicate, to be able to communicate values, possibilities, to inspire, that was the most important job of a rabbi. And so he developed his speaking skills. He developed eloquence to be able to preach and to be able to communicate in a way that provided that leadership and that kind of inspiration to members of the congregation and to members of the community.
I'm always marveling at the fact that a group of Jews in Houston who founded a synagogue in the middle of the 1940s and built a building to house it in the late 1940s made the brave and visionary decisions to make it look this way, to make it look innovative and modern and forward-thinking, very different than the way many, many other mid-century synagogues looked at the time. This is a place that honors and elevates the past, but does not fetishize it. This is a place that I think reflects what they understood America to be, standing for values that were timeless, standing for a certain vision of what the world could look like in a bright future. This is a place that believes that America's best days and Judaism's best days are ahead of it instead of behind it.
We joined in 1956. I found my place from the early days in the sisterhood of the congregation.
Sisterhood really became almost like the programming arm of the congregation. Along the way, the Brotherhood served a totally different function. One of the major things they do is this garage sale. They played a great role in bringing the temple together to create the garage sale and then using the funds both for the temple and out in the community.
When I look back on what I've done through the years, so much of it came about through sisterhood. They were open for me, they were welcoming to me. I'm intrigued by the fact that for our 75th anniversary, we're using a slogan that says, ever open, because they were open even then.
I ended up choosing Emmanuel because when I was here, I felt the most at home. It was welcoming. It was not pretentious. It was about the right mix of tradition, but with keeping up with the times.
There's people at Emmanuel who've been here for generations, and then people who've been here members for just a month. There's so many ways to get involved. No matter what your interests are, there's a volunteer opportunity, and I think that makes Emmanuel a very warm and welcoming place. Depending on your background, you may have come from a really rich religious education, or maybe you're new to the faith, or you are Jewish, but you don't know as much as you want to. And I think, there's no stigma attached to that. The clergy is very willing to answer questions. They encourage questions, which I think is really special.
One of the blessings of having a diverse congregation as we do is that we have lots and lots of opportunities to implant Jewish values and Jewish tradition in all sorts of different families that look all kinds of different ways. We have clergy that are involved in people's lives from their very, very first days on earth until their last days on earth. Your rabbis and your cantors have been a presence in the schools teaching young children. We spend a lot of time in hospital rooms and in intimate conversations with people that are struggling through the most difficult days of their lives. And we are blessed to be able to celebrate with folks at the happiest days of their lives as well. This is one of the great blessings of being a member of the clergy that serves this great congregation. We are always teaching. We're teaching in the preschool, we're teaching in the religious school, we're certainly teaching bar and bat mitzvah kids as they make their way to become Jewish adults in this community. We're teaching through our upper school that goes until students graduate high school. It is impossible to separate the endeavor of teaching and learning from this building and from Jewish life in general.
Both of our daughters went to Becker, which anyone who's had kids at Becker know what a wonderful place it is. I think it really helped shape who they are today because they learned compassion and tzedakah and the idea of tikkun olam, everything that you want your little kids to learn, but through a Jewish lens.
I go to health and religious school, and I go to Wednesday night school and Sunday school. I'm studying Hebrew with my teachers here, and I've been studying for my bat mitzvah in a few years. And so when it teaches me more about Judaism, I learn more and I can feel like more of a Jew.
Harold Reingold was the director of education here at Emmanuel. We had some kids that were preparing for their bar or bat mitzvah. Harold Reingold said to me, I think that all these students need is just a little bit of help, and could you help them? Now that was 60 years ago, and I'm glad I can still do it. Rabbis helped them write the speeches, and everybody else was teaching them everything else in the bar mitzvah. But if I worked with them on the public speaking, on standing up and delivering, that it made a big difference.
The Torah is telling us to be just, also in the pursuit of justice. Both the ends and the means by which they're obtained must be just.
We're blessed with leaders that have great vision and who are dedicated to this place. For as long as this place has been around, there have been people who've stepped forward to lead it with their time, with their love and their energy, with their resources, to make sure that this place will be around for generations and generations to come.
So when I went on the Shirley Barish Memorial Israel experience, I took away a renewed connection to the land of Israel and the state of Israel, while having the ability to see it through a critical and unique lens. We started out by going to Poland. We went to Auschwitz. A couple days later, we went to Majdanek. So we saw 2 concentration camps. I'm a descendant of a Holocaust survivor, and many of us on the trip were, and it prepared us to go and see then Israel after a week. And I really like how Emmanuel did that trip. You do the concentration camps immediately and then wrap up in this empowering way. Really, I learned the idea of action here. It's empowering to know that as Jews, we value getting involved, and as Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel said, praying with our feet. I think Emmanuel fosters that mindset.
Devote yourselves to justice, aid the wrong, uphold the rights of the orphan, defend the cause of the widow.
The scriptural excerpts that appear on the walls of the sanctuary articulate twin values that animate our congregation. On the one hand, a reminder that we have timeless moral standards that we're commanded to live up to, about loving justice and mercy and remaining humble. And also remembering that our charter, our commandment, our obligation to be a holy people and a light unto the nation reminds us that we're not allowed to stay closed up behind the doors of our synagogue. Our job is to go out into the community, to engage with the city where we live, to engage with people that aren't part of this community, to show the world what ethical, conscientious, spiritual living looks like.
The trying is a manifestation of hope. The trying when we reach out to someone for connection. The trying when we share our struggle. The trying when we search for a care provider. The trying when we admit today isn't a good day and we're doing the best we can. The trying when we take the first step even when we can't see the whole staircase. It's the trying that heals us.
It starts here in services. High Holidays was a great example last year. Rabbi Hayon gave a fantastic sermon, all the clergy did, as did Rabbi Fixler and Rabbi Silk as well. You really kind of get that fulfillment from everyone.
I find our rabbinical and cantorial leadership exceptional, and there's a prayer that I think resonates more than it ever has, and that's, may the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord.
A service is more than just spoken word, but the service is about the word being sung, and it's more than just even words. It's the music. It's what weaves through Jewish identity and the Jewish values and the lessons of the Torah. And so whether it is having a little bit of a full band with percussion.
The Shabbatones.
Yeah, the Shabbatones. Or to the High Holidays, hearing the Kol Nidre and the choir behind it. Then I can really just close my eyes and I can not just hear, but I can feel that music. And it makes the words, it makes the prayer book so much more powerful. It amplifies it.
I love the organ, and I feel that it really kind of adds that extra reverence to the High Holy Day services.
This place has been blessed by cantors that lift up people's hearts with song and prayer, by extraordinary rabbis from the time of its founding until now. And to be in that company is humbling, inspiring, and deeply joyful.
I just am very pleased to be here at this point in my life and in the life of Emmanuel.
We want to continue the tradition and the community of Emmanuel.
Rabbi Hayon has an incredible vision for the future of Emmanuel, for where we're going to go as a congregation. For us, it's exciting that our kids will be able to see it happen from beginning to end.
It's very important to me that when the history of this congregation is written, it will be made clear that it mattered to Houston that Emmanuel was here. Not just that it matters to the members of this congregation or the neighbors that live around this building, but that it has made a consequential, lasting, significant impact on this city, that we were here and we did the holy work that we do.